Yes, ma'am.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Writers Class. Yes, we're doing another Writers Class. I'm feeling good about this. But anyway, I'm going to skip most of my stuff today. I'm going to go straight to the books because I'm doing this on the road and I've got spotty Wi-Fi. So let's go straight to the books. We wrote books, we meaning me, Winona, and Jade. So it'll be, and I thought divorce was bad, and I thought being grown up was easy. If only I were me, a memoir and verse, Foreign Coffee, Widow's Web, Widow's Debt, and all of those are audio books. Did I mention that you're not here to hear about me? You're here to hear about a wonderful guest. Wonderful guest, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'd love to. Thank you for having me. My name is Betsy Randolph, and I am the current president of Women Writing the West. We're a very large writing organization with members all over the world, and we basically support and encourage other women writers who primarily write about Western America, the Western United States.
Awesome. Okay, so only West? Can't we be like the West side of the East side?
Yeah, traditionally when our organization was founded in 1994, it was for the purpose. These women got together in El Paso, Texas, and they wanted to create a writing organization for women that primarily, because they had all been members of Western Writers of America, and they wanted to have an organization that was just women and that did, most of the literature was about women's West, from the woman's perspective of the American West. Currently, we have members that are male and female, and we've got writers that write not just about historical Western, but that write even contemporary and some, nonfiction. So it's really an interesting, eclectic group of people. But yeah, sorry, it's about the West.
Okay, so that makes me, I have to ask. So if we put LA in our story, does that count?
Yeah, sure. Why not? It's West. Yeah, anything west of the Mississippi.
All right, then. I'm in. Okay. So can you tell us a bit about what someone can expect if they join the Women Writers of the West?
Right. So Women Writing the West, like I said, is a large organization. We have all kinds of membership benefits. We've got 3 different contests that we do every year, competitions. The Willa Literary Award, now that's open to anybody. And so is the Downing Journalism Award. But the Laura Short Fiction Award is just for our members. And so it's an exclusive benefit just for members to focus on those short pieces. And so that's one of the benefits. We also have an IO group, very active IO group, where we email each other accomplishments, education tips, resources, writing programs, writing competitions outside of our own. So we've got that. Of course, all of our social media. And we've got a blog where members can submit to the blog, and even non-members. The board just recently voted to allow non-members to submit to the blog. And so besides the encouragement and support that we lend all of our members, it's just really a really tight-knit group. Like I said, we're scattered all over the United States and Europe and Canada, Australia, we're everywhere.
So that makes me have to ask this other question.
Yes, ma'am.
How did you get started writing? What was your story?
Well, I always liked to write when I was a kid. My mom bought me my first typewriter when I was 10, the ones with the little ribbons on each side, and you just pull the little scroll through. And so I wrote little stories. I pursued journalism when I first got started in college. I didn't graduate with a journalism degree, though. Well, I take that back. I did graduate with an associate's degree in journalism, but my love was law enforcement. And so I wrote all the time, but it wasn't anything, it wasn't fiction, obviously, and it wasn't that entertaining. Maybe portions of it were. Some of the reports I wrote probably were pretty entertaining. I've got terrible spelling and terrible grammar, but I love to write and I love fiction. So really what happened in 2009, I got injured in the line of duty and was off work. I was in a cast from my armpit to my fingertips. and I was unable to do anything, but I took some advanced online writing courses during that time and started writing. And it had to just been a God thing, because by the time I was done with this writing program, I had enough material for a book. And that was my first book. It is called Tokens of the Liars. And it's set here in Guthrie, Oklahoma. And it's about a radio broadcast journalist who stumbles on a serial killer. And then, so anyways, really neat, the story of how I began to write, but a lot of it I think was influenced from my mom. She really influenced me to write.
So out of all the genres, you picked mystery.
Yes.
Why mystery? I'm gonna stop right here and add a little narcissism story about me.
Absolutely.
So my mother has passed away, but when she was alive, for the longest time, she thought I wrote romance. And I've been a published author since I was 10. And she just knew that I wrote little love poems and romance stories and stuff like that. Okay. Yeah. She picks up my book one day and like, it's mystery. Yeah, that's what I write. So why did you pick mystery?
Well, I think probably the same reason that I wanted to get into law enforcement and loved law enforcement was because there was always a puzzle to solve, a mystery to solve. When I was growing up, I loved, obviously police stories and police shows. But really, I think it was the detective part of it, the Angela Lansbury part of it, the Agatha Christie idea that there is a mystery out there, and there's mysteries all around us. And it's not just, it doesn't have to be murder. I mean, it could be anything. How did this happen? Or why did this person do that? That's a mystery. And it gives us that story question that we want solved by the end of the book, or at least it's some portion of the book. We want to know that question is resolved. And I think that was probably why. How about you?
Why do I write mystery? Because it's fascinating. I write mystery because I love it. I love playing with an audience, because you know that they're going to get to a certain point of the book, and that's a twist, that's a surprise, right. That's what you built up to. And then also when I'm a pantser, so when I write mystery, it's a mystery to me as well.
I like that. That's exactly how I write. I don't like to have an outline. It makes me crazy. I like to write and my characters are developing as the story goes along. I don't know what they're going to do in the next chapter. I think that is a mystery to me that like you said, it's so interesting and fascinating to see how you're writing and you're like, I don't even know where this is coming from or where it's going, but I am along for the ride. And that's when I know that what I'm writing is good. Maybe it's not good to anybody else because I'm not writing to make $1 million. I'm writing because it's inside me and it wants to come out and I enjoy doing it.
Oh, I would like to make that $1 million though. I would really appreciate that.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh my goodness. So that answers the pantser question that I was going to ask. But like everyone says that you can't write a mystery as a pantser. So what tips do you all the loophole, make sure everything is solid?
Well, you're going to laugh when I tell you this, but what I've done this before, especially when you're doing a murder mystery and you've got several suspects that you've introduced to your readers. And you're dropping little clues along the way. Maybe they're just red herrings. Maybe they're not real clues, but it kind of leads the reader to think that this is the killer. And so to keep myself on track, I have a piece of butcher paper and it's just a big, not lines or anything, just a big piece of paper. And I've got it taped to the back of the door in my writing room. And the room is just a room with a desk, nothing fancy. But on the door, on this butcher paper, I have essentially what looks like a flow chart. And I have to that's how I keep my characters together. So if I get confused on who did what, who had a certain type of weapon, a caliber of gun per se, then I would have to go to that and look, unless I was just really with it and could keep it all, keep it all organized. But that doesn't usually happen like that. Oftentimes I will forget. I'm writing a piece right now and I didn't realize I had changed the name of the horse like half the way through. And so I had to come back, and when I was doing some rewrites, just and go through and change those, to the correct name. So using that butcher paper really helps me.
Hmm. Okay, so let's do that last question.
Sure.
Which is going to be the Writing Women's of the West Conference. What is that, and what can people get from it?
Okay, so our Women Writing the West Conference, we meet every year. The last 2 years we've met virtually, but this year we're going to do an in-person conference, and it's going to be in Oklahoma City, the first time ever. This will be our 28th conference, and every year it's somewhere different. And so this year, Oklahoma City, and we're super excited about that. And what people can expect if they attend the conference, we've got editors and agents from all over the United States, several from New York that are going to be there, and people can pitch their book idea to them. They're called pitch sessions. And we also have a critique roundtable with those editors and agents and publishers. And so they'll be able to sit in on that critique, submit their writing, and then get that critique back and that immediate feedback there at conference. We've got some fantastic workshops, some national speakers that are coming in. And so just incredible time to the camaraderie, being around writers. There's kind of a feverish, it's hard to explain the atmosphere when you're around a bunch of writers. In my opinion, it's like you have this collective juices, and this kind of a vibe. It's very, I'm not sure I even know the right word. If I can put for a writer not to know the right word, it's kind of funny, huh? But we get together, and people write some of the workshops. You do some writing, you'll read some of your work. We do have an open mic kind of thing that we do for our award finalists. There'll be readings of those works, and so a lot of education, a lot of networking opportunities, a lot of opportunities to meet people, like I said, that are in the publishing industry right now: editors, agents, publicists, that sort of thing. So you'll come away smarter and better off.
I love this. It makes me want to go. It's in Oklahoma this year, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, first time ever, Oklahoma City. We'll be downtown Oklahoma City at the Sheraton. And like I said, we've got these national speakers that are coming in from all over the country, and going to be doing some marketing workshops, literary workshops, memoir workshops, poetry. I mean, we're not going to leave anything out. We've got a really broad spectrum of workshops and presentations. And because we are in Oklahoma, we're going to have, it's called Red Earth Voices. That's our theme this year. Oklahoma is the land of the red people, a red man. And so we're going to have a lot of Native American presence at the conference. And so we're excited about that. I'm not a native Oklahoman. I'm a native New Mexican, but I moved to Oklahoma as a child. And so I'm kind of a transplant, and married an Okie and have an Okie baby who actually was born the same year that Women Writing the West was founded in 1994. So really excited about having everybody here in Oklahoma, which I consider my adopted home state, and anxious to show off just some brilliant writers that we have here in Oklahoma. One of our featured speaker was my mentor during grad school. I attended Red Earth MFA program at Oklahoma City University, and Janetta Calhoun-Mish, Dr. Mish, is going to speak. She's going to be our plenary speaker. And so really thrilled about that, having her, and just showcasing the great state of Oklahoma.
Now, this is in October, the 22nd through the 24th?
It's actually the 20th through the 22nd.
October. 20 through the 22nd. I knew I was going to get it wrong. So I knew it.
I don't do numbers, but I obviously have been looking at those numbers for a couple of years now. So I knew that, but no, you get a pass because you were super close. So October 20th through 22nd, we've got some great tours lined up. We've got a tour bus. We're going to jump on that thing and go over to the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum in the morning on Friday. And then we'll go, I think that's Friday. It could be Thursday. It's the 20th, whatever day that is. We're going to go to the Cowboy Museum, and then we'll go over, it's just brand new opened. It's called the First Americans Museum. And so, yeah, so we're going to get to go to both of those fantastic museums. And then again, like I said, take in just some wonderful speakers and just being able to get together with our women writers, women and men writers from all over that are going to come together. So we're really excited about it. We hope you'll come. Why don't you come?
Hey, you guys heard the invitation, y'all. Y'all heard the invitation, because I'm going to put my Southern on.
Come on,
y'all
girl.
Heard that
Come
invitation.
on.
So go ahead and scoot on down there. Oh my goodness, this has been so fun. I'm sorry for the problems, but yes, I do have a cowboy hat, by the way. It's very cute and it's blue.
Wonderful, yeah. My favorite color.
And I look adorable in it. So, I have to ask my narcissism question. I just wanted to know if you knew any speakers that have a black and white polka dot bow in their hair.
No. Yours is adorable.
Thanks. But I did want to know, like, if someone did want to try to speak at 2023, is it to apply to be a presenter?
Right. So what we do each year, and I want to say that when we open it is around January. So what we'll do on our website, we'll say, submit your proposal. And you just go right on there and submit your proposal all online. It goes to whomever the conference chair is that year. This year, our conference chair is Dawn Wink. She's out in Santa Fe, good friend of mine. And so she's going to be our conference chair this year. And again, I think it was January when she put the call out for proposals, and then had maybe a 2-month window where people could submit. And then she draws from that. I think she's got her own committee, her own team, and they pick the people that are going to present for that year. We'd love for you to do that. But girl, you don't.
Okay, so you heard it. Yeah. So I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, you don't have to write about the West if you wanted to be a member. We've got members that write sci-fi that it's, has nothing to do with the West, but they're members because the organization is so supportive, and there's no way around those connections. I mean, you can be a writer today and not be affiliated with any writing organization and do just fine. But I think that just the camaraderie and the esprit de corps, that's the sensation that we're all in this together. And if I know something that can help you, whether it's a website, whether it's your social media accounts, whether it's, figuring out how to do font, because we've got, all levels of writers. We've got, I'm not going to say Pulitzer Prize winning writers, but maybe they just haven't told me yet. We just recently put out, I put together a little survey because I wanted to know from our members where they were, how old they were, what they were writing about, what awards they'd won. And so that's currently going on right now. I think that July 5th is the deadline for everybody to fill their survey out. And that's for our members, because I'd like to know, I'd love to be able to brag on them and tell you all the wonderful things that they've done. And collectively, we've got members that have won all kinds of awards.